So let's start with Baroque. I love Baroque music. I'm going to blame it on my childhood piano teacher, who was first and foremost an organist. I was always playing Bach. There's something unusually satisfying about a well-performed piece by Bach and the act of practicing Bach. I was just practicing Bach this morning, and it's always good for my soul. All is right in the world when you finish a movement with a Picardy third, am I right? I want my students to find that same satisfaction while also sharing with them the reality that, frankly, playing Bach is hard. I always say to my students when they're learning Bach, repeat after me, Bach is hard. We have to just know that when we're diving into it. Of course, I also share with them my intense love and satisfaction that I find in his music and in the time period in general. As an aside, I also tell my students that playing their first Bach invention is one of the great rites of passage in their piano study and one that's worth celebrating. So if we read through the characteristics in that Illinois AIM page that I gave you, we see the following, and this is how the framework I'm going to use for interpreting this music and deciding how we're going to play expressively. First, we have polyphonic texture, meaning that my audience must be able to clearly hear two or more voices in my performance of a piece. They're not listening for one primary melody with an accompaniment underneath it. Secondly, we have these melodic devices of repetition, imitation, and sequence. And however the composer has used these devices needs to inform how I approach that part. Maybe I'm going to do terraced dynamics, moving louder through each sequence, or maybe I'm going to move it softer through each sequence. I'm going to want to hear the imitative voice coming in, imitating the previous one. We have consistent mood throughout. The Baroque masters believed in one affect for each movement. So whatever the mood is that you decide on with your student, this is a joyful piece, this is a melancholy piece, this is a very serious piece. Whatever it is, it needs to be consistent throughout the whole piece. This might not apply to some advanced works, such as toccatas, but even in those, you have sections that have one mood per section. And then we have the forms here and the types of pieces, such as the dances that make up a Baroque suite. All students must understand these forms, especially those types of dances, and that all music from the Baroque period is in some way linked to dance. Images and videos can be very helpful here because, frankly, in 2021, no one is dancing the minuet. So we need to educate our students so that they have some sort of understanding of this cultural context. It is the thing that is farthest away in our typical piano study from how our students live their lives right now.